place, and the service there is excellent. All right. Once again, make sure you heard about it from me. That's right. So, hey, I was talking to Marcus. He was here a couple of months ago. That's right. And he said he met a nice young lady here who served him and his daughter. That's right. My daughter was with me. And he told you about the podcast. Well, he heard about it from there. So we decided to come down and check you out. Make sure you run that to him, all right? Just Fish Bar and Grill, 27 Halsey Street. Also, AJ Caribbean Taste, name says it all, and 150 Halsey Street, Newark, New Jersey, right in back of the big, tall Prudential Insurance Building. It's the biggest thing downtown Newark, that's right. Big, tall, concrete building. Can't miss it between Bank and Academy Street. Go in the back on the halls. You got AJ Caribbean Taste there, 150. And I'm going to tell you something. You can go in there and have 150 or more in your pocket. Sometimes you can't resist. The name says it all, the aromas draw you in, and I'm telling you, that's not all. I'll tell you, go in there, check them out. Some of you heard about it on the podcast, all right? And last but not least, we got T.M. Ward Coffee Company. They are a staple here. Over a century in Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. Yes, they have been here over a century. They are between City Hall and the Federal Building, which is at Franklin Street and Federal Square. Their shop is set up right between those two streets, right between those two important buildings. T.M. Ward Coffee Company. Take a big step up to get inside. Also, when you open the door, you're going to smell the aroma of fresh coffee beans freshly ground. And everything else that you're going to see and smell around. They've got all different kinds of fruits, dried fruits, fresh fruits, fruit cups. They've got different fresh fruit preserves. I mean, apricot, peach. They've got grape. They've got apple. They've got raspberry. They've got strawberry, blueberry. I mean, my goodness, they've got regular nut butters. They've got peanut butter. They've got walnut butter. They've got cashew butter, pistachio butter. They've got macadamia nut butter. I mean, come on. Who's ever heard of this chocolate-covered pecans, walnuts, macaroons? I mean, all of this stuff, and it's all fresh. Sealed up in glass jars with metal tops. You ain't seen that in a while. I tell you, go down there, check them out. They got some tables. You can sit down and enjoy something inside, or you can take it to go. It's your choice, but make sure you mention that you heard about them from this podcast. That's right. So they show us love, we show them love back, and right now we definitely want to give you one more selection if you don't mind. And then we're going to get the podcast started, so you got a few minutes more to invite.
Audio button 1 of 2. All the work in Vermont button. Next in, Xtra-Hype Jazz Mix, slow and even, main and groove sessions, ideal for focus and carried activities, rhythm and form, 2 hours, 3 minutes, 5 seconds.
All right, everybody. Once again, thank you for joining the Xtra-Hype Connection podcast for Friday night with your host, Marcus and Flofokuz, with the most tonight as we get ready to take you once again out of the land of make-believe and around the corner to the domain of unaware, things that we are simply unaware of, but we're going to be aware tonight. That's right. But before we get started, I'm going to ask my man. That's right. You already know he's the host with the most, Flofokuz with you.
Please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash. If you do not know your thank you.
Sorry.
Please enter your PIN followed by the pound or thank you. Unmuted.
Gets us every time. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's extra high. Yes, indeed, everybody. Extra hype for you right here on the Grown Folk Talk Express Yourself Progressive Podcast Network. Xtra-Hype Connection Podcast. Your host, Marcus and Flofokuz. And without further ado, everybody, let's jump right into this. Now, tonight's title, I know a lot of people probably looked at this and probably maybe threw a eyebrow up, maybe one down, kind of like Dwayne Johnson does, or Mr. Spock in Star Trek, of course. Maybe some people thought, well, what in the heck does that mean? What are they talking about? Or maybe some said, look at this. Maybe even laughed. But that's okay. Because you're here. And those who are not, well, they're lost. Because we're going to unpack for you tonight exactly what this means. Now, if I may just take a little creative license here, our title tonight is Where Are We? That's the title. But the description is what we have in the title box tonight, which is the disabled community has the opportunity of a lifetime to take the lead or to lead for a change. If we will step out of our own way. Okay. I'm going to explain all of this tonight. And at the end, we're going to open up for Q&A. Get your take on this because we definitely love to hear from you. So, tonight, I want to start by giving you a little bit of background. Some things that were part of my journey. From being sighted to being unsighted. Very, very real, the real events took place. There was a lot of learning and a lot of transitions to make. New way of doing everything. And it wasn't fun, it wasn't enjoyable, but I'm still here. I'm still here. And I'm going to be here. So, I never thought that I would be under the umbrella of vision loss myself. I never thought so, ever in my life. But it happened. It happened to me. But prior to that happening to me, I had a life that was very different from the one that I live right now. And I will say this, that life was a bit disappointing at times, but a bit, exciting at times. Sometimes it was somewhat depressing, and then sometimes there was a bunch of accomplishments that I felt good about. Sometimes it felt like there was no one that had my back. And then there were times where it felt just the opposite, like everybody had my back. But the one thing that I took away from that type of lifestyle that was previous before where I am now with vision loss is that life was a roller coaster ride. It wasn't something steady, but it was steadily changing from one thing to the next thing. So it wasn't really going in a direction to get me to where I wanted to be. I didn't have a focus. I can be honest about that. I was just going through the motions, taking life as it comes, as, there's a cliche that I've heard and I even say, and have said, taking it as it comes, going through life, going through the motions, this is all I can do, all I can do is all we can do, and blah, blah, and all of this other stuff. But that really was not my life. That was a bunch of experiences that I put in place of my goals, my mission, my purpose. Somebody would ask me, well, what do you want to do when you get further along in life? Where do you find yourself? What do you want to be? What do you want to have accomplished? I would say something like, well, I just want to live my life to the fullest. But the question that I never could answer was, how's that? What does that look like? And where does that take you? I had no answers because it was a hollow answer at best. It was something that I heard and I parroted or I repeated what somebody else said. That's what I did. That's what I would do because I had no belief in myself at that point. I was just going along to get along. And you know what? I can really be honest and transparent about that. And listen, I'm going to say this. Tonight, we're just going to have some real honesty here tonight. And I ain't going to put nobody on blast. But if it resonates to you, and it just might, you ain't got to say nothing. But if it does, just take notice. Not to break anybody's will or put anybody down. No, that's not the purpose here. It's to build us up, to get us to take a look at the position that we're in right now. And even though it seems like a position that none of us really want to be in, I'm going to hopefully share something with you tonight that shows you that others don't want to switch places with you. But it's not because of the condition or because of what they see. It's because they know within themselves they're not strong enough to handle it. And my firm belief is not to ask, well, how should I feel all the time? Or how come this has come to me? Not to have a woe is me attitude, but to say, I must be pretty damn special to be chosen to be in a position like this where I could show off to the rest of the world who makes excuses for everything. We're going to get into that a little bit tonight. Have you ever thought, now check this out. Let me back up. I'm sorry. I got a little sidetracked here. But let me continue with my journey, and then we'll come up to the present tense here. So throughout my whole journey, it was back and forth, never really having a center, a target, nothing. It was just, well, I hope I get rich. I want to retire, and check, this was real. I wanted to retire by 35. I had aspirations of that. I had dreams of that. And if you want to say it was a goal, yeah, it was a goal. But the thing I lacked was the recognition of who I was and a plan to go with me. I ain't have that because ain't nobody teach me that. Nobody told me that. As a matter of fact, I was told the exact opposite. I was told, you will never, and then fill in the blank. That's what I heard growing up. From when I was small to the time that I got to be an adult. And the people who were telling me that were the people who were closest to me throughout my whole life. And I know some of us have been through that. So I know I ain't the only one. And it ain't just people under the umbrella of disability. And I'm not saying that to be facetious or to be disrespectful, but it's just what society uses in order to identify. It's not, it's not something to put anybody down. Just want to make that clear. Because technically, the society who doesn't have the challenges that we have really don't know how to relate to us because they're not there. Which is why I get so excited when I hear about Oz with a New Vision, when I hear about visionary trailblazers, when I hear about Beyond the Eyes, Eyes Like Mine, Mesmerizing Eyes, Eye to Eye, Shades of Jersey City, Hip, Dial, NFB, ACB. Why? Because these are groups that take people who have challenges, who are learning to cope with their new way of life, and give them a sense of community, of others that they can relate to, others that are around them, that have gone through what they are going through, if they are new, or even if they've been there for a while, but just have never had anyone to be able to relate to say, hey, I know what you're going through. Didn't have that coming up when I was sighted. So fast forward. We're here now. I'm here now. And as I said in the beginning, I never, ever thought that I could make a difference. I could be a shining star. I could be the anomaly or the thing that makes you look and say, what in the hell? I never thought that I could be looked at that way, that I could take the lead for a change and everybody would notice and look, even though I can't see them, but I can sense them. And some of them even come up to me and say, how do you do what you do? Let me give you, for instance, an example of what I mean by the title. The disabled community has the opportunity of a lifetime to lead for a change if we will step out of our own way. In other words, if we'll stop making the excuses and making up the stories and making up the reasons why we can't do this, we can't accomplish this, we feel this way about this, so we're not going to move forward on that. I'm just saying. But let me move forward and tell you what I mean. Everybody here, we wear clothes. At least I hope so. Okay, by I've seen, that I know, and even those on this line, I know we wear clothes. Out in public, I hope we wear clothes. Now, can you imagine doing laundry without being able to see your clothes? Well, you could try it if you're sighted. Close your eyes and go to the laundromat or go to your laundry room and do your laundry. Just close your eyes. Keep them closed. Feel for everything. But what's even more challenging is that the laundromat I go to, it's not coins. It's all digital. And there is no accessibility there. Nothing talks. But I have some devices that help me, and also I have some people that when they see me come in, they recognize me from the door. You know why? Because I'm one of the few people that goes in there that they notice. They notice my cane. They notice my ride when I'm brought there. And they're waiting for me when I get there. They come and assist me. And they load up my laundry cart for me. But I load all of my laundry into the machines. And I know where the machines are. Yeah. This does take place. I put the soap into the machines. And they helped me start everything. I have even taken my own stuff out of the machines that was washing them and put them in the dryer. And with the assistant, started the dryer for the time that I wanted. And knew the location of the machines where my clothes were. All without the benefit of being able to see it. And then taking them over to the table and folding them and putting them into the laundry bags that I came in there with, and then sitting everything into my laundry cart until my rod comes back to pick me up. Doing all of this without the benefit of being able to see what I'm doing. Do you know that there was, I don't know if they were husband and wife, I guess they were, sitting in a laundromat. The man was a deacon at his church, and his wife was a member, and I guess she was probably on some kind of committee at the church as well. But he was looking at me, and he said to me, he came to me, he said, "Excuse me, sir, can I just compliment you?" He said, "Because I sat here and I looked at you the whole time that you was here. And not once did you skip a beat." He said, "I saw you from the time you put your clothes in the machine. You got a laundry basket. You took them out. You started to take them over to the dryer. And the people, the attendants, came and said, no, we'll take them." And they put them in the dryer. And you told them how much time you wanted, and you knew where the dryer was because you went over there and got the right clothes out of the right dryer. And you came over here and folded them up. He said, "I just want to compliment you on that. And I want to say," he said, "I want to tell you that God has really got his hand on you. Because you do things that no sighted people either won't do, refuse to do, or can't do because they don't know." And I thanked him. And you know the lady that was sitting next to him, she said to him, she said, "Hey, he comes in here every 2 weeks, he does his laundry, and he folds up his clothes." And the man looked at her and said, "When?" She said, "I see him when he comes in here." Because obviously she's there. She said, "Yeah, I see him. He comes in. He does the same thing over and over again." And we switched information, and, I had the contact there in mind. But what did I show right there? I showed the fact that I'm not a victim. I mean, yeah, it might be dark. I mean, sometimes it's like annoying seeing the same daggone thing, but I turned that into something else that's useful. Everyday life situations. In the kitchen. Yeah, you got it. Sometimes I have to turn the oven on, the stove top on. Yes, I do. Yes, I have to do it sometimes because who else do I have to do it? I can't always order it out. But it's a skill. Just like learning a new language or learning to do something new that you might not have been able to do before. And that is going with me. And I said, if I can do this, if I can take the lead and show people that, hey, I can do my own laundry, I can cook my own food if I need to, and I don't make a mess and I don't burn anything. I'm thankful for that I haven't burned anything. And I can go out here and I can carry my cards and know which ones I have in my pocket. My money, know what I have in my pocket. And I can go handle business, transactions with people. They can tell me how much I have to give them, and I can give them exactly what they need to have, and they give me back my change. And I know what they gave me back. Yes, I do. The fact that I can set up transportation to go different places. There's ways for me to know where my ride is, where they are, who they are. take some extra steps for me to do this. But yeah, it gets done. I don't make no excuses. I don't sit up here and just sit in the house in the corner and say, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because everything is moving quickly. Everything's moving quickly. And the bottom line of it is this. We, those of us who are under the umbrella of what they call disability, or, let me add this, some type of physical challenge, have been looked upon not as someone to feel ashamed of. No. There once was a time when people would look at us like that or feel sorry or whatever. Some people still do, but here's the thing. When I'm out and about in my community and I'm walking down a block, I'm sweeping my cane from side to side, guess what? Everybody's giving me the respect. I have the lane. They'll move. And if they don't move, and I tap their foot, I'm saying, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. My bad. They say, oh, no, you're fine. I should have gotten out your way. Some people come, hey, can I help you across the street? It's an opportunity for me to have a few words with somebody and maybe encourage them in their day. Sure. Want to help me across the street? Great. I'll take the help, especially with these busy streets that we have where I am. Lots of traffic all the time. But hey, somebody wanting to help me across the street is an opportunity for me to talk to them and get into their environment for just a few seconds so that I could plant something in them that might encourage them. And here it is. I'm sitting up here with limitations, challenges, and there are people who wonder how I do what I do. And they look at all of us and wonder, how do we do what we do? You know why? I'm going to tell you part of the reason why. Because the things that they're going through, that they're seeing, they're hearing, they're dealing with, all of their faculties, they can't seem to get around those things, but they can't imagine being in a position that limits your mobility, that limits your sight, that limits your ability to walk, to use your hands, to stand, to talk, to hear. Most people right now are so overwhelmed they can't even handle their own lives. They can't imagine what it would be like to try to handle what we might handle. But that's not the only thing. Just imagine this for a moment. You bring a dish to a gathering, something that takes a long time to make and has to be done with precision and carefully. And you bring it. Everybody digs right into this. They love it. And they ask, who bought this? And you acknowledge it. Do you know that people who can't cook would be a little jealous of you because you're leading the way and you don't have all your faculties working like other people, but you've made a dish that they can read directions and they can take the time to do it, but for some reason they just can't? but you did. You've shown people. You've proven to them, not that you needed to, but what's possible when your attitude is that you're unstoppable. You have the opportunity of a lifetime, which is to show your leadership skills with an attitude of being unstoppable. No limits, no barriers, no walls, no humps in the road. Ain't got time for that. And I say that we're peculiar. We're a chosen people. Some people might not think that, but think about it this way.
And I was thinking that the exact same.
In this position,
And I was thinking that
if you were not able to handle it, if you did not have the strength to muster, to continue on daily doing what you do, and sitting up here making people scratch their heads saying, how in the world do they do that? You're more than what anybody has ever told you, and probably more than what you have ever thought to be. You're more. And maybe there have been those who've told you the opposite. Maybe there are those who've taken you for granted. I'll tell you a quick story about that being taken for granted. I go to a few different stores that I like to shop at. And I know the layout of the store. And when they change things in the store, the people who work there tell me what they changed and where it is. And the thing that gets them is that I can tell them just about where I am in the store. Oh, I'm here at aisle 4. One of them asked me, how do you know that? I said, because here on the end of this aisle, there's always been a freezer here. You can't move it. It's cemented into the ground. They said, how do you know that? I said, well, I ran into it one day. And I realized it wasn't going to go nowhere. It wasn't going to move. And the store manager also told me it's cemented into the ground, so I couldn't have heard it, but he wanted to know if I was okay. We had a laugh about that. But there's certain markers that I know of. Who else does that? Who else pays attention like that? We could. If we were sighted, it would be so easy to do. But taking our sight for granted, taking our other faculties and senses for granted, we don't. Or we haven't. But look at the ability that we've developed to be able to describe things without being able to see them or touch them or handle them. Things that we do make people look at us like, how? How is that even possible that they can do it? These are the conversations I've heard people have. And they've even come to me and asked me, how is it that you do what you do? I say, because I have to. They understand. Because the reality is, I'm not always going to have somebody, and you're not always going to have somebody who's going to be around to be able to take care of things for you, to do things with you, to make sure that things get done. So sometimes you have to. And you have to find a way. You have to solve a problem in order to have a solution to it. And sometimes we are the only ones that are able to solve the problem that's in front of us so that we can have a solution. And we do this on a regular basis. Now, if we do this on a regular basis with the things that we do in our personal lives every day, then what about the bigger things that plague society out here? Like everybody sitting up here scraping and scrounging for pennies. And we ain't even got no pennies no more. We, listen to what I'm saying, have overcome so many challenges in our daily walks, in our lives, in the routines that we do, things that have come to us that we haven't even thought for a moment, whoa, let me take a pause on this because I never dealt with this, but I gotta figure out a way. Why? Because you want to, because you know you need to. There are no excuses you can give yourself as to why you failed, because you won't do that. You won't do that. And you're going to do the best you can, and you're going to figure it out. Why? Because you have to. And why? Because you want to. You're unstoppable. I want you to get this into your brain right here. All of this other nonsense that we hear coming in that takes up rent in our heads, let's give that stuff its walking papers and put this one thing into your mind to replace it right now for now. Unstoppable. Unstoppable me. Let that take up rent in your head. Unstoppable. That's you. That's me. That's us. We have so many opportunities, and I'm afraid that sometimes we sell ourselves short. We get in our own way with excuses, with reasons why, with explanations as to how this could have been, but it can't be because of this. And all these other things that we may come up with to derail our own efforts and our own success. But if those who are not like us are having such a problem with everyday things, money problems, relationship problems, social problems, can't get along with people, can't even conduct business with people, attitude problems, problems. And guess what? It just gets bigger and bigger. The more they think about these things, the more it seems to be added on to it. But I know we got our issues too, but we moving through. We're not staying in the storm and getting rained on. I think we move until we get to the shelter place where we can say, okay, glad I got out of that. Because if I would have stopped, I would have got soaked. But we know of people every day that are in that same situation that are not like us, and they getting drenched, soaked, because what? They stopping right in the middle of it. Crying, mad, attitude, upset, lashing out, when they could have just walked another 100 or 200 feet, in a manner of speaking, and got out of the situation that they were in. So what does this title mean for us tonight, that we have the opportunity of a lifetime to take the lead for a change? If we just step out of our own way. We've been given something that most people would consider to be something that they would never want to have to deal with. We may have challenges. But every day we overcome these challenges. And every day that we overcome these challenges, we develop new skills that take us to a different level of being able to do things, accomplish things, set goals, have plans, and figure it out. This is what we do. This is what we've been given. Because people who are not at the level we are at, and I'm not elevating us to say that we're better than anybody, but we've come to a certain point in our life where this has come upon us not to be with us forever and to limit us forever, but for us to find ways to get past this as well. If I can tie my shoes in the dark, if I can wash my clothes in the dark, if I can cook in the dark, then I most certainly can walk through the dark and come back into light. There's nothing saying I can't. But there's people that are saying that, well, you might not. You may not. But you know what they haven't told me definitively? You never will. And they won't. You know why? Because that ain't true. Suppose you had the opportunity to, let's throw that off the board. Let's throw that off the board. Wrong word. Suppose you were given an invitation to learn something new, whether it's about finances, whether it's about relationships, whether it's about how you get through society, how you form allies, how you build and grow communities, how you deal with your nutrition and your health, how you recognize certain things, how you set up and make yourself attractive and wanted by others. And you had the opportunity to an invitation that was going to teach you these things. Would you say, no, I got something else to do that you may do all the time? Would you make an excuse to talk yourself out of it? What if you became wealthy? Just think about this for a minute. How do you think people would think of that? How do you think they would look at you in your present situation? Mostly in their minds, taking what you're able to do for granted because they don't see how they could do it. But you did it. How do you think they would see your progress? How do you think they would look at what's taking place with your life? Would you then be the one that they might come to ask, how did you do that? Wouldn't that give you an open opportunity to let people know who you are and how simple what you do is? Because you made it a part of your everyday life. You surpassed the biases. You surpassed the I can't. You've gone further than woe is me, I'm a victim. They keep stopping me. They're all out to get me. They're against me. You've gone past that. You got to the point where you say, listen, enough of that. Ain't got time for that. Got work to do. Time for me to get on and do it. You build a team. You build a team. Because your energy just rubs off on everybody else because of what you have in you. You have the attitude that says, hey, I cannot be stopped. The only one stopping me is me. I may have opponents who present themselves as obstacles that are really sparring me so that I can see where my skill level is, and if so, where I need to tighten up so that I can move forward. It's not something for us to get upset about and to get down about and to stay in one place and talk about it all the time. What happened, this and this and this. No, it's for us to say, okay, I see where this got me, and I see where I need to tighten up over here and strengthen this and tighten this up and secure this. Now I get to go back because now I know what to expect, and now I know how to deal with it differently so that now I can conquer and move past it and say, unstoppable me. Just imagine if that conversation went all around our community of people with challenges, people that are under the umbrella of disability, and we began to show this chaotic world what support looks like, what cooperation looks like, what success looks like, what networking looks like, what growing together looks like, what community looks like, what it all looks like. What if we were the ones that was setting the examples, that was showing that, hey, we don't need y'all to come here and do it. We got this. We got it. And we showed it. And everybody saw it. Can you imagine how people would scratch their heads? They wouldn't believe it. They want to know how. Why? Because in their minds, we're limited. We can't. We need them. And even though in their minds we need them, and in their minds sometimes we're a burden because they don't really want to be there for us, we show them we really don't need you that much. Because we're not overcome, we're not controlled by our biases, our prejudices, our attitudes, our fear, our anger, our depression. We've had a lot of that already. But now we've come to a place where there's something that is in front of us that is with us all the time. And it requires us to step our game up, to level up. As we say, to man up. Just imagine if we began to have conversations, if we began to really respect one another, to be concerned about the success of ourselves and others, if we cooperated, if we shared information, resources that would benefit us, do you know how many heads that would turn? And do you know how many people would say and be quoted as saying, we were just waiting to see how long it would take for their community to show how good and how great the Most High has made them. How the Most High has used the things that are, in a way, foolish to the wise, or those who think they're wise, to confuse them. Those who think they've arrived and who have it all find out now that there's a community that has risen to their level and is going beyond, financially, socially, education-wise, as stewards, handling resources, handling nutrition and health, making changes in record time that people haven't been able to make in hundreds of years. Come on, what's in our way? Us. What's the excuse? That's something that we have to solve for ourselves as individuals. But we know. We may not want to be honest about it. And we don't have to tell other people our business unless we're comfortable. But at least we got to be true to ourselves. Because in my not so humble opinion, the way that this world is going, the way that everything is all messed up, it's backward, it's inside out, it's upside down, it's twisting the wrong way, up is down is up, in is out, all of this nonsense going on. People are confused, people are ashamed, they're depressed, they're afraid, they're angry, and they can't seem to get nothing done. They can't concentrate on anything for more than 2 minutes, or else they drift off. They're always looking down. Why? In a phone, in a tablet. That's their life partner, a device. Can't go without it. They come into situations where there's music playing, there's a television monitor on the wall, and they're still in their device. But what about those of us who really don't have that the way that others have it? What about those of us who have to be creative, who have to look at things a certain way, who have to resolve in our own thoughts who we are and what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and then go ahead and do it? What are we waiting for? And what have we got to lose other than a situation that we should have passed a long time ago? Now, I hope everybody understands what I'm talking about. I hope you understand what I'm saying, what my conversation is today. It's very simple. Look at the rest of the people in the world who are going through problems, who are having such difficult times, and they have everything at their disposal, and they can't seem to make it work. They always have some kind of complaint. I'm talking about those that are not like us, those who are not under the umbrella of whatever challenge that we have or whatever disability they call it. No, those who have all their faculties. This is what I'm talking about. They have everything they need without challenges. And most of them can't seem to make it work. They can't seem to make it make sense. But here we are with the biggest challenges, and sometimes we don't get the respect that we should get. I get it. Sometimes we don't get the advocacy that we should get from organizations, but that's okay because we advocate for ourselves, and in advocating for ourselves, we advocate for one another, and then we advocate for others as well. What if that's supposed to happen? What if that just makes sense? What if it really just falls to us now? Think about that for a minute. What if it falls to us? What if we're the ones to set things straight? What if we're the ones to make things go right? What if we're the ones to educate people on how to use a phone, how to use a device, how to use apps? Ever thought about that? How to be wealthy, how to set up our families for wealth, our children, our grandchildren, to be healthy, how to know how to grow what we eat and what to eat so that we're healthy, so that we gain health, so that we become healthier to the point where things that are plaguing us start changing. Less of that, more of strength and more functionality, where at one time we did. Relationships, how we get along with people, how we relate to each other, respect, trust. We compromise, we learn to talk, we learn to not deal with each other in anger. We learn not to gaslight. We learn not to deal with each other with a sense of being so high, like we can't be talked to, we can't be approached. But we learn how to be humble so that everybody can approach us. And that we can be that gift to everybody that comes. Because let's face it, who have you ever asked if they wanted to switch positions with you and they told you, yeah? I still ain't had that happen to me yet. Everybody that I asked that question, they said, no thanks. That's okay. I said, I know. There are opportunities that have presented themselves over and over again. I know we've heard a lot of stuff. But if we want to see changes, if we want to see things that we can hang our hats on and say we had a hand in that, if we want to see things turn in such a way that it catches people off guard, but it makes them say, they did that? If there are causes that we need to stand up for, do we really need these community leaders? Do we need lawyers? Do we need spokespersons? Or can we speak for ourselves? Come together and advocate for us. Just like we did earlier this year with the transportation situation that we had. They were trying to diminish what we already had, and we said, oh, no, you ain't doing that. We grabbed the bull by the horns. And we dealt with it. Now, there was just a handful of us that did, but you know what? That handful of us got some results. Look at that, unstoppable us. This is why I'm saying it may just be left to us to be that shining star, that guiding light, that lamp on a hill, the one that lights the way and says, hey, go that way. Hey, this is what we have accomplished here. We're not just talking about it. We did it. Put our differences to the side, which seems that the rest of the world is incapable of doing right now, and we did something. And guess what? Those who saw it and saw that it made sense will come to it and will come on board with it. And guess who led the way? Those who everybody else, or just about everybody else, mostly everybody else, took for granted, which was us who were living with challenges. They say we live under the umbrella of disability. I call it challenges. It's up to us. I believe it really is up to us. But we got to get out. We have to get out of our own way. We really have to do that. We really have to sit down and really be honest with ourselves. I can't be honest with nobody else but me. Because I don't know anybody else's situation. I don't know you internally like that. You don't know me internally like that. But we do know ourselves. And we know what we tell ourselves. We know what we do. We know when we're we know. Time for excuses. No. That's over. That's over. We got work to do. And it's work that requires us to show and prove. The resources are right there. The doors are wide open. Should we just sit here and complain? Let's put it this way. If you sit in a room that's as hot as a rotisserie oven, turning chicken, ribs, and other kinds of meats, right, and it's all sweat, if it's that hot, and there's a door that's open and there's a breeze outside, you're going to sit in there and complain about how hot it is, or you're going to get up and walk out that door and catch that breeze. It's just that simple. I think we have made enough excuses. I think we've wallowed in self-pity for long enough. I think we've held on to things that have hurt us and that have caused depression in our lives long enough. I think we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our future generations, to our generations now. We even owe it to our ancestors, all of us, to get up, show some pride. This is who I came. This is the family line I came from. That's right. It's my family right here. That's right. You credit them with this accomplishment, not just me. And all of us together, we rep our families. You credit all of our ancestors and our future generations for what the work we did, because we shown them no matter what you are faced with, no matter what people see in you that they may say is impossible, you're definitely unstoppable. And all we had to do was show and prove. I know we can do that. I know it can be done. Whether or not people want to do it, whether or not people are going to do it, well, that's a different story. But it can be done. We do it every day. Every day. I mean, my goodness, don't they have movies and plays now with audio described to help us hear things in detail if we can't see them? Look at how everything has come to us. And even more is coming to us. We've got so many things that we do. We can now set the tone. The opportunity of a lifetime is right here in front of us. Maybe we should show some common sense that we already got and lead with that for a change. And prior to doing that, I think we just need to be honest with ourselves about how we're holding ourselves back, what we're telling ourselves, the conversation that's coming out of our mouth, the way that we're not paying attention. And we're just spitting out stuff that we always spit out. Let us not do that no more, y'all. Let us understand that we're peculiar people. What do I mean by that? Yo, you got superpowers that you don't even know about. And once you do them, other people look at you like, how did you do that? Because they don't see us the same as them. Oh, wow, you can't see. You can't hear. You can't use your arms. You can't stand up. You can't walk without help. You got crutches. You walk. How did you do that? Why? We've been given this because we are strong enough to handle it and show the rest of this world that just because they think that they've got everything and because they think that everything is supposed to work a certain way, doesn't mean that that's the way that it works. Doesn't mean that just because you're this way that everything is going to come together for you, especially if you can't seem to get your head right. You can't seem to have confidence in yourself. You're looking for somebody outside of yourself to always do something for you, but what do we have to do? Do we always have people to help us, stick their hand out for us? No. But we make do, and we make it through. Listen. Get this word in your mind. Give it rent space. Unstoppable. Unstoppable. That's how we get out of our own way. That thought comes back up, that depressing thought, I'm unstoppable. No, I ain't got time for that. The one that makes you doubt, no, unstoppable me. No. I got confidence. I know what I can do, and I know what I'm going to do. The one that says, oh, you'll never be able to do that, don't believe that, no, get out of here. Unstoppable me. I need to learn about that. I need to know what that is so I can make my own choice rather than sitting up and making choices that I've only heard people talk about for so many years that I picked up. It's not my stuff. It's really up to us. We really got the bag right now. We might not know it. Maybe nobody's ever said this. But look at how you use your ability. You use your power every day for every situation. We deal with things that other people couldn't even imagine. And we solve our problems. What's the evidence of that? We're still here. People probably counted us out a long time ago, but we're still here. And I heard that, I quote that from a very wise man and a very young man who spoke at an open house event for Beyond the Odds support group. Man's name is Spencer Stamps. The man is a genius when it comes to finance and when it comes to numbers. He can teach you all about finance and how it works and how to make it benefit you, along with other things, how to place your funds here and there and help it to grow. And he explained how he lost his vision, how he had different problems, how he had different challenges, how he was going through different things, different stresses. All of these things seem to be coming up. And one by one, he was knocking them out. And you know what he said? I'm still here. Better than superheroes, guess what? All of us are champions. You're all champions. You hold a title. The title is champion. And ain't nobody knocked you off of that yet. They haven't. Why? Because you're still here. You're still here. Now, you still here? Fine. It's time for us to get moving. It's time for us to show and prove. It's time to show that we know what we about and what we doing. We ain't trying to do what everybody else do. That's just a little message of encouragement to all of us here on this line. With challenges or with no challenges, we're all still part of the same family. And I love everybody the same. I really do. I ain't got nothing against nobody here. Now, there's sometimes we may not agree. And sometimes we may need to readjust the terms of our relations. But it doesn't mean that I'm turning my back. I mean, unless you just do something that's just totally like out of bounds. And, I got to put you up on the shelf for that. But I haven't had to do that with nobody. But at this point, Flofokuz, I want to ask you if you want to address our listeners before we open up the floor for a couple of questions or a couple of comments. Yes, indeed, loud and clear. Mm-hmm. 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 Xtra-Hype. It's always Xtra-Hype. All right, to our listeners, our new listeners and our returning listeners, want to thank you for joining in with us. We're going to unmute the line for a few minutes if you have some questions, or if you just want to add to what you heard, or you have a certain, perspective. We'd love to hear it. That's what we're here for. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to unmute you all. Want everybody talking at the same time, please. Right? Hold on.
All participants are unmuted.
All right. Thank you for that lovely, lovely voice over there. We hear you singing. Yes, we hear you singing. Thank you. Thank you.
Lord of mercy.
We can hear you. Lord of mercy, we can hear you. Thank you so much for that rendition. We appreciate those notes. They were just magic and wonderful to our ears. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We thank you for that comment.
And that being said, may I be heard?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. I was sitting there and I'm listening to you and I'm wondering, are you trying to get under the umbrella of vision loss stricken from the list of disabilities? Because, I mean, it's true. We do what we have to do. And it's true. I would be amazed to be able to sit in that laundry and watch you as well, because I have some sight. A lot of people that I am meeting have zero sight. Is all black. You said see the same thing all day, every day, black. Well, at least I get to see some movement, and this moaning and this crying, I'm not used to it. I'm not used to it. I have not been able, as of yet, to get comfortable with where I am in this journey of vision loss. But if we hype too much, the ability of those who are under this umbrella, well, there are those who are listening, and they don't want to help anybody anyway. So are we giving them fodder to change the laws? That's what I'm concerned about. And with that, I yield.
Would anyone like to comment to that?
Can be
Share
heard?
if you like. You got the floor.
Xtra-Hype. Yeah. Yes. These are the things and the conversations that really need to take place. With everything that's going on in our experience and on this planet of ours, we're here, we're born natural, made manifest natural. It's our planet. The things that are going on the way they're going on is because of them same things. I just want to say that one more again. It's because of lack of participation of the people. And it is amazing, and it demonstrates the resilience of individuals that choose to keep going and keep being and keep having those experiences. You make lemonade out of lemons. They emphasize on lemons as the bitterness part of life. I met a girl one time. She didn't have any challenges, but she used to always send this text message. The joy of the AM, of course it would say morning, isn't the sunrise. It's having another chance to see life through God's eyes. If those eyes are in your head, then who is God? Who tells you to scratch your head? Who tells you to cut them potatoes and stir those? I forgot what the brother be eating, but yeah. Marcus is a connoisseur. Marcus is a chef. He's not just a cook. Most people really don't realize who that dude right there is. He's very resilient. He definitely demonstrates the betterment of society. And he would like everybody to participate. Everything exists the way it does is because of our observation, but our lack of participation. And it really is that simple. I mean, some of the things you were saying today, bro, was really hitting me in the head with some of the things that I'm dealing with and going through right now as we speak. And it's just like what you demonstrated. What do you want to do about it? Are you going to sit there in that dirty oil, or are you going to get out and do something? It's like what Outkast used to sing back in the day. All power to the people. Xtra-Hype. Oh, one more thing, bro. Scientists say when an individual, something weakens in an individual, other parts of the body get stronger. It's something to consider, because big girls make the world go round, Papa. Xtra-Hype.
All right. Okay. Point for you. Okay. Okay. All right. That was a good word. That's a good word. So, everybody listen up. We open now. I mean, a lot mics are open. Listen, what I'm talking about integrates everything, but it doesn't depend on something. It depends on us. Listen, we are a collective of people. We all here. We don't hold no titles. We ain't no politicians. We ain't no judges, no lawmakers, no whatever. We're not that. We're not CEOs of a corporation and heads of companies, heads of things. We're not that. Okay? But we're the ones that provide the energy for these things to be. So if everything is topsy-turvy, we know that there's people out here that are in positions. They're supposed to be leaders, quote-unquote, whatever. Whatever they are, whatever they call them. If they can't get a handle on things because either they can't or they're just not trying hard enough, or they ain't really trying at all for whatever reason, and things are still the same, then the logical thing to do is what? Get up and do something so that thing that's the same can now turn into something different. You are the alchemist. I wasn't really going to go there tonight, but you got to understand what this is. You're changing energy to energy. You're changing matter. You're using matter to facilitate or to move energy. In other words, you're using your hands. That's matter. To create a meal in the kitchen. Do what? The action of energy within you. You got extensions of yourself. What are they called? Utensils, knives, forks, ladles, serving spoons, tongs. Those are all extensions. That's matter. But you're manipulating it with the energy from you. Now think how that applies in everything else. Listen, we got people under the umbrella of vision loss building websites that sighted people think that other sighted people built. Whoa, how did you do that? Do you see where I'm going with this? Unstoppable us. Say to yourself, unstoppable me. Let that live in your head rent free. Get all this other crap out of there. Because it really is, in my opinion, it's left to us. We don't have the same biases as the rest of the world. We don't have to. Only if we want to. But why would we want to when we're given such a great responsibility? Focus. Set goals. Make action plans. Build your team, your community. Create good relations. Grow abundance, grow wealth, grow whatever you're going to do. Provide services, give goods. The same thing that happens in a centralized system where there is one in the middle controlling everything outside of it, to a decentralized system where that middle person is not there. So everything is peer-to-peer. We have control of what we do. The perfect reason for us to say, you know what, I think I can do better than what's going on here. And at least give it a try. So, anyone else would like to have a word before we get ready to do our summations and our closings?
It is done. It is done. Wow. In Uganda, they would say, Bafwakaka. So let me say, Mark, you have marked us. Mark us. You marked us. We are unstoppable. I am unstoppable now. I was so happy I was on this platform here with you all today. Thank you very, 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 very much. very much.
Well,
That-
you can always count on us. You can always
Yep.
count on us.
Yes, indeed. I shared it too with other people too. Count me in.
All right. All right. Well, we count you in, and you can count on us. So, you know what? That makes us good together. All right? We connected. We make that connection. Tap into this connection.
Absolutely. So
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to be one of the chosen ones. I love living without pain and being poor.
Mm-hmm.
Your voice, let me say, your voice was like at a frequency or at the way, it was at a tone that just fit right in where it was supposed to go tonight. Remember I was saying the same thing about our sister?
Mm-hmm.
Similar?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, I count, I'm in this. I'm in like Quinn, like winning. I'm in it winning. Thank you. Yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
Or.
Thank you. So everybody, listen. Our reality is made by us. Really, it is. Outside only responds to what we put out. This is why I say we are the alchemists. You have to understand this. This is how this works. And until we know this, until we have information that we can at least go and say, wait a minute, is that real? Was he just sitting up here just saying something? Let me find out. First you find out what is alchemy. What does it deal with? Then you find out what an alchemist is. What do? How do they do? And then you look at your life and you'll see. You were that all along. But you were just being manipulated by suggestions. That didn't come from you. But they lived in your head rent free. So every time you wanted to do something, there was something else that just kind of got in there and threw it all off. It would go with your system. Its process, the way it worked. There's two things at conflict there. So guess what? Nothing got done. You are who you are. But even more so now, you are really carrying the torch. And as ironic as that might seem, as strange as it might seem to say that you really are, think about it for a minute. Just think about it. Everything that you may have gone through, you've been through, you experienced, all of this stuff, and what, you still here. What's that tell you? Look, all of you who know the story, Samson was very powerful, right? And they took his sight. No, it didn't just go grab. They took his sight, right? They hurt that guy. And what'd he do? He brought down the whole building on all of them. You guess what he said? While he was doing it, I'm unstoppable. Y'all think y'all got me, but I got all of y'all. Roach Motel, you checked in, but you ain't never leaving. That is who we are. We're not victims. We're not charity cases. We're not people with the woe is me attitude. We've been given this for a reason, to show strength, to show power, and to show that what? We're unstoppable. This is serious, y'all. This is serious.
We're resilient. We'll do it. We'll do what we have to do. We always do. Kicking and screaming, but we do it.
That's right. That's right. You're right. But let's keep that, and now let's bring it together. That's the challenge, everybody. So with that being said, I want to remind everybody that tonight, directly following this podcast at 8 p.m., we got Brother Ed with Thine Will Be Done coming up next. And yes, it's always a lot of great information, but also a lot of fun. I think the last recorded time was 2:45 a.m. For those of you who don't know, get some coffee, all right? Y'all going to be up for a while, trust me.
Make a pot of coffee.
Yes. Might even want to make two with some crumb cakes as well. Yeah. So that's tonight, okay? Hold on tight. She's coming in. Tomorrow, 7 a.m., we got the prayer call with Miss Carol Lucille. She's definitely going to bring you something to start your day off in a great way. At 12 noon, first and third Saturday of the month, we have Your Highness with Actualizing. That's the first and third Saturday. 4 p.m., we got Just Joy, you just heard, and Friends. Okay? Eclectic topics, also topics that make you think, real current, real world event topics as well. And come on in and just sit around with her and talk. We love to have more friends. And she serves tea and croissants. Believe that. Tea and croissants. Come on in, all right? 6 p.m., we got our CEO, Mr. Forrest Nance, for Grown Folks Talking. He always has a special guest on, and I know that he is going to have a special guest on tomorrow. Tune in to find out what goodies he has in store for all of us that are going to come on and listen. And then tomorrow at 8 p.m., I believe we have one of two people. It would be either Elle from Long Island or Melvin. So come in tomorrow and find out at 8 p.m. who will hold the floor and who will hold your attention for that time. And as is customary at this time, our friends, thank you for listening in. Flofokuz, once again, my friend, you have the last word, and please let our audience know and take us on out.
The call is no longer being recorded.
It's me, Brother Ed. Are you on? I think you're on, aren't you, Brother Ed?
Hey, man, I thought you was going to cover for me, man. What's good with that? What happened?
Hey, man, like you said, big girls is, they cooking, bro. Cooking. The grits.
Yes, indeed, bro. Okay. Yeah, man, because, something always going on, but the beautiful thing about Friday, there's definitely magnanimous things to look into at 8 p.m. on Friday evenings. There's all kind of windows